Hey guys, so it's May, it's the end of May actually, last days of May in 2025, and I'm here at Krakow main market square. The Polish people call it the Rynek Główny, and today in this tour I want to tell you as much information as possible how to avoid scams here in Krakow and various misleading situations that you need to avoid when you're here on holiday here in Krakow, so you have a trouble-free holiday when you're here. And I want to tell you some tips and information that will save you some money saving tips as well. So the first one I'm going to launch into here is the scam where there is a man dressed as a knight in a costume, like a knight's costume, and there's a lady dressed in a traditional Polish costume, like a Polish dress. Now, this happened to some of my customers recently, and they said that this lady dressed in this traditional Polish white dress went up to him in the street, him and his wife, and said, "One photo, please." So naturally, he said, "Okay." He said, "Okay," and then she takes a photo, and they take a few photos, and then the next thing she charged him 50 zloty. She said he had to give 50 zloty because she'd taken these photographs with them, and there was a charge for these photographs, and he felt under pressure, so he gave the money, but he wasn't very happy about the situation. He's one of my customers for the trips because I do all the excursions here to Outfits, the salt mines, to Zakopane, to the shooting range, to the thermal baths. Yeah, if you want any trips, guys, as well, any excursions, just make a comment. I do the trips, very good value for money. Pick you up in Krakow, we drive you there, we drive you back as well, and it will be directly in English. So if you want any trips or tours, just let me know, please, guys, and I can organize your day trips for you. If you make a comment, I'll give you my phone number. So just launching back into this, one thing to watch out for is the restaurants here at the main market square, going around the square. It's absolutely lovely for people watching. So when you're on holiday, of course you want to sit here and you want to watch the people go by. You want to look at the wonderful architecture from here in the main market square. But these restaurants in the main market square, some of them have got a bit naughty this year and last year, and they've introduced service charges. There's a service charge of 12.5%, a surprise when you get your bill at the end. And this is happening to a number of tourists, and they're complaining to me about this situation. They were unaware about the service charge when they went into the restaurant or the bar that they went to. I know a number of different bars where they have a service charge. For example, there's some with an English name and some with an Irish name, and they sit you down and they put a service charge on top of your bill. So what I would do is when you go into a restaurant or you go into a bar here, ask for the menu and check the prices very carefully on the menu before you sit down, and ask them if they have a service charge. If they have a service charge, do not sit in that restaurant. That's a tourist trap. Krakow is a tourist city with over 20 million tourists a year. It's absolutely packed full of tourists here in Krakow. Every single day of the year, it's very, very busy, full of tourists. So you do have to be aware there are tourist traps here. They are targeting tourists in those situations. What they do is a lot of guys come here on stag parties, and a lot of girls on hen parties. Groups of guys, groups of girls. They come here because Krakow has some of the best nightlife in the whole of Europe. Now on my channel, you can see my nightlife tours where I show you the best bars here and the best clubs. I show you the prices and all the details on there. So watch my other tours on my channel. You can subscribe for free to my channel at Travel with Col, with a C-O-L, and you'll see lots of my other guided tours from Krakow and all the Polish cities on my channel. So another one to watch out for, very, very popular, this started during the war, is the Money for Ukraine charity scam. Now, they are not all scammers. Some of them are scammers and some of them are not scammers, but you need to find out which ones are legitimate and which ones are the blaggers. So what you need to do, they'll approach you in the street, and they will have like a clipboard, and they'll have the name of a Ukrainian charity on there. You need to Google that charity, check out that charity before you give money to that charity. Because if you're just giving money to a person on the street, like cash over to a person on the street, then that's a risky situation. That money might not be going to that charity. So check what charity they work for, Google the charity, do your homework first before you give to the Money for Ukraine situation. Some of them are real and some of them are scammers, so the money is not going to the people in that situation. Hey. Yeah, so that's one to watch out for. So anybody coming around asking money for charities or anything else, watch out for that one. Another one is targeting young people that are out drinking, people after the pub at night time. They'll come over to you about maybe after 8 o'clock at night for sure, not in the daytime, but after 8 at night they'll come over to you, and there's a strip club scam, and they'll come over to you in the street. They'll see that you've been drinking. They want to take advantage of the fact that you have been drinking and your naivety after the drinks, and they'll invite you into a strip club. They might give you a special promotion to go into that strip club. So they'll say to you, for example, oh, come into the strip club and you get 1 drink for free. Come into the strip club, you get your first beer for free. Guys, come in on your first drinks, you get 2 for 1, and you get some free vodka shots as well when you come in. Watch the show, you'll have a brilliant time. We've got models inside, you know, they'll promise you the world and make it sound absolutely fantastic. And then when you go into that strip club, they will absolutely empty your pockets completely. They will absolutely scam you. I've worked here for the last 10 years in tourism, and the tourists have told me what happens. And basically they have lost thousands and thousands of pounds, and every single week I meet tourists that have been scammed by the strip club scam here. They can be very persuasive. They're very, very good at sales. They will target you late at night to get you inside these strip clubs, but the locals here know not to go in, because you will, although you've been promised the world, you will be robbed. People have had their drinks spiked. They've had memory loss for a week or so afterwards. They have lost thousands and thousands of pounds. Their mobile phones have gone, their cash has gone, everything. They will take every penny you have if you go inside one of those strip clubs here. So do not go into strip clubs in Krakow. It is a scam. It is not real. I don't know, you might be able to, you might have been in other countries, maybe it was okay, but not here in Poland. You can't go here. Now, another one to watch out for is in the restaurants. That these restaurants line the square here. I'm eating at these restaurants all the time, the different restaurants here. I love restaurants, I'm a real foodie. So when you go to the restaurant, one to watch out for is when they say to you, I have no change. When they say to you, I have no change, that's just a sales line to try and get a tip off you. They want to get tips. They're working for tips here, and they expect tips here at the main market square in the city centre. So they'll be saying to you, if they say to you, I have no change, it just means that I want a tip. So you have to consider that situation. So if you're going to be paying in cash in that situation, make sure you have coins with you, make sure you have the correct amount of money with you. In terms of tipping here, you tip if the service is good. If the service is good, we tip 10% here in Poland, the same as in England. When you get a tip, be aware you must leave that tip in cash. If you don't leave that tip in cash, the waitress or the waiter will never see that tip. They will not get that tip possibly, because the owners of these restaurants are very, very greedy now. They put the prices very, very high here now, and some of the staff have said they prefer the tips in cash because they will get that tip on the day. They will get that tip immediately, and the tips are withheld, and they might not get that tip if you tip on your credit card. In terms of bringing cash with you, there's some things like in the Krakow market here in the centre there, the majority of the stores there, you're going to need cash with you to pay. There's a market inside that Krakow there, straight ahead there in the centre, and you will need some cash to pay for things there in the Krakow. Now, another one to watch out for in the restaurants here is extra charges for things like milk and butter. Now, in Great Britain, we think milk's free with your cup of tea. We have tea with milk. Here in Poland, they don't have tea with their milk. But if you want, for example, to have tea with milk, they will charge you an extra €1 or so, €1 or €2, whatever the charge is, for the milk with your tea. So be careful with extras, little extras that they might charge you. For example, one they charge me for regularly is I like butter with my bread, but I ask for butter and they charge me extra money for the butter. So obviously in Great Britain we get free butter and free milk with your tea or whatever, and that's just a cultural difference here. Well, particularly in Krakow, in this city, because it's a tourist city here, it's to maximize the profit for that particular restaurant or bar. In some other Polish cities, actually, they didn't actually charge me for the milk. In Rzeszów, for example, they didn't actually charge me for the milk in a number of places, so it might be particular to Krakow here. Now guys, if you're going out here, you're going to find that the prices are quite expensive now in Krakow. Actually, It costs a lot of money now here in Krakow to go out for the night. We have some of the highest inflation in the whole of Europe here in Krakow. But on my other videos, my nightlife videos, you'll see I've got one video showing you the cheapest bars in Krakow, and I do show you the prices on there. So there are a few places where you can go with reasonable prices, but I would say that here at the main square, you're looking at about £5 for a pint of beer now, really, at most of them. Some of them are £6, some you can go into some nightclubs that will charge you like £7 for a beer or something like that. But the cheapest beers you're going to buy here are Polish beers, and if you buy international beers, they can be double the price. There's one pub here, for example, one of the English pubs here, and it's about £7 for a pint of Guinness. And I couldn't believe it, because in Liverpool, in my city, you pay about £4, maybe you could pay £5 somewhere, but really to pay £7 for a pint of Guinness in Poland is unbelievable. I moved here about 10 years ago, and it was about £1 for a beer, something like that. And really the inflation is so high here now, but it's a wonderful place to visit, and I honestly think this is one of the best city break destinations in the whole of Europe. There's so many things here to see and so many things here to do in Krakow. Like I say, I organise all the day trips to the salt mines, to Auschwitz, to Zakopane and the thermal baths as well, and sightseeing city tours. So just make a comment if you need my phone number for any trips or tours as well, guys. It's just to help you enjoy your holiday, really. I do love it. I do love it here in the city, I have to say. I really love it here. It is my favourite city probably in Europe, Krakow, and I am totally in love with Poland. It's the most beautiful country I've been to in the world. So you're definitely going to enjoy your holiday here anyway. So another one to be careful of, we're looking at the restaurants here. Here's one called Sukienice. Now, wine is very expensive here in Krakow. A bottle of wine will cost you between 150 zloty and 250 zloty. So that's between £30 and £50 for a bottle of wine now in 2025. So wine is extremely expensive. It's just a very high markup. It's not expensive to buy wine in the supermarket, but it's very expensive to buy wine in a restaurant or a bar here in Krakow. Wine is considered a luxury here in Poland, and they've decided to make it a very high markup on wine. When you go to these restaurants, like this one straight ahead, have a look and see if there's any daily promotions. This restaurant here, it has a promotion on a Monday where you can get a pint of beer for less than £2.50 every Monday. And that's a very good promo, but on the other days of the week, the pints of beer are normal prices, like say £5 or whatever for a pint of beer. One thing to watch out for in some restaurants though is this happened the other day in this restaurant straight ahead, actually, to one of my customers mentioned this, the guy from Liverpool. He went in and he asked for a beer, and they said, do you want a small beer or do you want a large beer? And he said, I'll have the large beer. And then he was given a 1 litre beer and charged for a 1 litre beer. You know, you popped in and you just want to have a pint or whatever, but be aware, check the menu before you order as well, and just be aware of the prices and everything else, because it might be the case where, say, you want a pint of beer and you think a pint of beer is a big beer, but actually you get a 1 litre beer when you've asked for the large beer instead of the pint. It's just misunderstandings like this that can happen sometimes, and just little things like that to watch out for as well. So over here in the center, we have the horse and carts. They look absolutely lovely, but to be honest with you, I've got the feedback from the tourists, and on the horse and cart ride, you see very little. It just goes to Wawel Castle and back to here, so it sticks on the main roads. It can't go down the narrow cobbled streets of the Jewish area or anywhere on the horse and cart. And it's very expensive for the horse and cart trip. They charge 650 zloty. I heard them selling it to people the other day. 650 zloty they asked for. It's unbelievable, really, to charge that for a horse and cart ride, and it doesn't last for very long either. So I'd say be careful with the horse and cart one. If you really want to do it, maybe you want to do it to get some photos on it or something, but you don't actually see very much on that trip. But guys, I mean, if you want a really good sightseeing city tour, I organise guided sightseeing city tours here directly in English with a hotel pickup, and we have very good tour guides as well, and we show you all the most interesting areas of Krakow by electric car, by the golf cart, and you just pay the driver when you get picked up. So there's no payment in advance as well on it. Just make a comment and I'll give you my my phone number for WhatsApp if you want information about our guided sightseeing city tours. There is a walking tour here as well. It says free walking tour, but it's not free. You pay to go on the walking tour. At the end of the walking tour, each person has to pay money to the guide of that tour, so it's not free. Also, another thing is the cheapest taxis here, the cheapest way to get a taxi here is to download a taxi application. What you want to do is download a taxi app called Bolt. There's another taxi app called Free Now, and there's another taxi app called Uber. Now, they are the cheapest taxi ways to get taxis here in the city. Street taxis will cost you double or triple the amount of money than these taxi applications. If you see street taxis parked late at night on a Friday, Saturday night down Shevska Street or at the Maui Renek, or on maybe on Florianska Street at the interchange down there as well, Florianska Street, those taxis will be very, very expensive and they might take you on the long route. Street taxis can be expensive here in Krakow, but taxis in general, if you're using the taxi applications here, are very good value for money. There's the girl there that does the charity. She's going around. She's going to look for people now to pitch them for the charity. Let's watch this now. She's going over to them. And this will be the Money for Ukraine charity scam that you're watching now. I'm not sure if she's legitimate or if she's one of the scammers. I'm not sure really, but she's going to ask them to donate money into this box now. Cash into the box. She'll tell them a story. People have had to relocate and become homeless during the war. There's children in hospital in the Ukraine because of the war, and they'll tell you a sad story. And then the tourists will hand over cash. And they primarily target tourists as well. Those tourists there have decided not to give money in that situation, but at least we caught one of them in the act as well. And I'm not saying it might be that that girl there was legitimate, and maybe her boss is corrupt. Maybe you know, I don't know who's responsible for the scam and which ones are the scammers. Whether the person on the street actually knows it's a scam or not, I don't know about that, but it's something to watch out for. Look into those people. Now, when you're here and you're thinking about booking trips and tours, one thing to watch out for is booking it through your hotel. If you book a trip or a tour through your hotel, it's going to be double or triple the price. It's going to be very, very expensive if you book a trip through your hotel. Now, the hotels are charging massive commissions to the tour shops. They'll just use the tour shop that pays them the most amount of money. So when you book a trip like Auschwitz or the salt mines or Zakopane through your hotel, you'll pay a massive amount of money because that's actually booking it with the hotel. So that the hotel will charge you a huge amount of money to book a trip. I met people the other day that paid £80, for example, to go to Auschwitz because they booked it through the hotel. You should never pay £80 to go to Auschwitz. I do it for much, much, much less. So yeah, just contact me on comments as well if you want my number for trips and tours. Now, when you're here in Poland and you go shopping, there's these big shopping centres all over the city. I've monitored the prices because I've been here for 10 years. And in terms of buying designer clothes are much more expensive in general than what you pay in Great Britain. Definitely in Britain, in Liverpool, I go to buy all the designer brands. I love designer brands and everything. And I buy all of my trainers and my clothing, all the designer names in Britain instead of buying them here in Poland. It's just too expensive to buy them here in Poland. The markup is so high of designer brands and known labels here, and when you're buying things like that type of thing, like trainers, polo t-shirts, shorts with all the brands and the logos that you like, the names, it's definitely cheaper to buy them in Britain as well. Another warning for you with regards to trips and excursions. Don't book your trips and excursions online on these advertising portals online. When you book trips or excursions online on these advertising portals, what you're going to find is they are third-party advertising portals, so your trip will probably get cancelled. They have the right to cancel your trip at any time. So you've booked it on the internet, and that is in the small print. They have the right to cancel your trip at any time. So don't book on websites like Get Your Guide, Viator, Civitatis, because the cancellation level is about 50%. And you're just going to find that you get to Poland and you get your trip cancelled by email by them at the last minute. And then unfortunately, you cannot go to Auschwitz because Auschwitz is fully booked for many, many weeks in a row. People don't know, but you have to book Auschwitz far in advance now. There's not as many tickets as in the past, and you have to book your tickets far in advance as well to go to Auschwitz. So don't book on those advertising portals online. They are third-party advertising portals, and you'll have many, many problems if you book on there. So this tour was taken in May and the weather is just lovely. It's about 22 degrees today. May is one of the best months of the whole year in Krakow, and you can expect a lovely hot summer right up until October time. We're going to have it in about 25 degrees, 27 degrees every day through the summertime here. It's a lovely time to be here in Krakow. And guys, we also have a pub crawl every single night of the week. On the bar crawl, it's a cheaper way to go out than all these expensive bars here around the city now. And you get 1 hour free drinks at the start of the night on our bar crawl. Whiskey, rum, gin, vodka, beer, whatever you want for free for 1 hour. We call it a power hour. You get 1 free vodka shot at every single bar. And we've got party hosts to show you the best bars here, the best pubs and the best clubs. You get free entry to some nightclubs as well later in the night. So we'll show you a nice selection of places that you can go to as well. And you have a really, really good night. It costs about £18.50 per person with my discount. If you make a comment, I'll give you my phone number and I'll get you a discount on the bar crawl. And you'll have a really, really good night out if you join the bar crawl as well. So guys, thank you very much for watching my guided tour today. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Travel with Col, and that's Col with a C-O-L. Guys, please give the tour likes as well because it helps the channel go high. And please make some comments as well. Maybe you have some comments about things to see and do in Krakow as well, or maybe some experiences that happened to you, or any happened to you when you were here, or maybe some safety tips as well. Maybe you've got some safety tips about Krakow to tell people as well on here. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.